What's up YouTube? My name is Brandon and this is Pulse-Fired Gaming. Today we're going to take a break from our miniatures and talk about a premise of can you make a LCD screen change replacement on the Saturn IV Ultra faster than the instructions. This is a Saturn IV Ultra. We use this in production for our 3D printed miniatures. And if we go in here and stop the self-test and go to screen exposure, you should be able to see, you see those little black pixels? Oh, right there. See those little black pixels? Those are dead pixels on our LCD screen. We've had this printer in production for about 3 months. We are not gentle with our machines, but we're not hard with them. So having the screen change come so quickly is kind of weird, but we're not super phased with that. The thing is that with a normal resin printer, and we've been resin printing since about 2018, 2019 maybe. With a normal resin printer, the normal process is you disconnect the screen from the main board, you peel off the top, you maybe separate the top lid from the case, and you push out the screen and you put in the new one and you're set. There's more steps to that, but that's a very simplified process. The difference between that and the Saturn IV Ultra is that the Saturn IV Ultra not only has a Z-axis movement, but it also has an X-axis movement. The main reason why the instructions that are provided by Elegoo are so different from what you normally see is because in order to do this normally, the process is you take apart the machine, you remove the Fresnel lens, which sits underneath the LCD, and you push the screen out. But to get to that Fresnel lens, it requires disassembling basically the whole machine, and that's like 30 different steps, and it takes quite a long time. It's arduous. You take both the panels off, you take this panel off, you unplug the touchscreen, hopefully before you take the panel off, you take the top cover off, you undo a whole bunch of connectors, and I think we can do quicker. So that's what we're going to explore today, and we're going to see if we can actually do that. How we're going to accomplish trying to get this done is basically we're going to change the screen or attempt to change the screen the same way that you would with changing the screen on a phone, using heat and suction to remove the adhesive from under the LCD without actually having access to it to push out from behind. They're going to do a couple steps that are a part of the normal process. We're going to take off the back cover and we're going to unplug the both camera and the LCD screen, and we're going to remove the top cover and the camera so that this plastic piece isn't exposed to any heat. Now, if we do this correctly, there shouldn't be any other things that we need to be concerned with as far as heat damaging any other components, because the components for the LCD screen are pretty far away from any other electronic component in the machine. We're going to start by getting it taken apart and go from there. Grab our really disgusting extra set of tools, find the correct, this guy right here, and get going taking this off. Now, like I said, we have already done this with one machine. We did it the correct way. We actually ran into some issues with doing it the correct way. We broke the little ladder cable that holds the touchscreen on to our main board. So now that the touchscreen is permanently adhered with tape, or semi-permanently adhered with tape, we are kind of worried that the machine, if we disturb it, will shake loose the touchscreen, and we'll either have to reposition it, which was not the funnest procedure, or replace the main board, which at this point Elegoo does not have this or any other main board listed on their website for replacement. So I don't know if they'll give us a warranty replacement. They'll probably sell it to us if we have to buy it on that printer, but we will cross that bridge when we have burned it down. For now, I think that this process and procedure alternative is probably a good idea. I am confident that even though I'm relatively limited with mechanical knowledge, that we can get this done, hence being able to make a video so other people may also be able to skip that step as well. So we have got these seven little guys off of here. There we go. Push that aside. And this is your main board. We're gonna adjust the camera real quick. Go down a little bit, like that. Okay, and then adjust, we're fine, okay. This is the main board on the printer. Point some things out so you are easy to see them. This is the touchscreen ribbon cable. This is the one that we damaged on our first change. This is the LCD ribbon cable, and we're gonna go ahead and remove the tape, retain it for later. Gonna take our fingernail, gently pull up on the tab, and remove the LCD. The LCD is now disconnected. We are also gonna reach in here and carefully, to not damage the connector, remove the hot glue, which they put in on top of the connectors so they don't shake loose during shipment. Here, you got your hot glue right there. Carefully unplug the cable for the USB drive. Okay, so with that unplugged, there isn't really anything else that we're going to unplug on this because nothing else should need to be taken off. There are 6 or 7 screws on the base of the lid, and then there's this top screw. And then inside the machine, there's also a screw that holds in the camera. So we're gonna remove that next. If you look in here, there are bolts right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here. And then the one on the back of the lid, that will remove the lid. Before we do that, there's a bolt right here that is a different shape that we're gonna go ahead and undo right now. This is the same size as the ones that hold in the back panel. So we're gonna use the same Allen key to remove it real quick. This undoes the mount, the little plastic mount that the camera is connected to. Once that's done, you slide the whole camera assembly out. Now we'll give you a couple quick tips when we go through this whole replacement process, because having done this the first time and spending way too much time on it, we want to make sure that it's easy for people to do it in the future. So undo that. See, there's the mount and there's the camera. On this version, this is one piece. On the first one that we did this on, it was not one piece, so that's interesting. So we're gonna set this aside, and then we're gonna undo the nuts on the rest of these. You wanna keep your nuts and bolts separated. There are different sizes and different shapes, so there shouldn't be too much risk of confusing them. But if you're like me, not much risk is not the same as just not confusing them. Yay, ADHD, woo! We're having a neurodivergent time over here. Again, this is a segment that'll either be sped up or cut. And then this one. Hey, oh no, that's not great. Those are the 6 bolts on there. We're gonna turn this around real quick. Bloop. And undo the one from the top. Same size, but different head shape. See, it's a flush head rather than the little bulbous head. And now we should carefully be able to remove this and at the same time, grab the camera, which has come out. Okay, so there we go. There's the lid removed. And again, we're removing the lid because we don't want to expose the machine to additional heat. So the next step on here is to remove the tape that surrounds the screen. Our kit. This is the kit that we bought for screen replacement. We simply searched phone LCD replacement, and this will have sprudgers. It'll have there we go, suction cup. So remove this tape, and let's clean that up a little bit. Discard that tape. You won't use that again. And discard those gloves because they're super sweaty. Now you can get screen replacements a couple different ways on your machine. At this point, this is the end of October 2024. No machine should be out of warranty yet because these machines have only been out since July, August at the latest. So now, Underneath the LCD screen, it's held in by 4 strips of adhesive that are kind of difficult. Your ribbon cable's right here, and they've even, I think on this machine, again, this is different from what we saw on the previous machine. I think they have another piece of tape holding this in even more. Yep. It's interesting watching, and 3D printing companies and a lot of companies will do this on their products, where you see them innovate silently, making changes to the product as they manufacture it. Now the LCD screen is not attached to the printer, except by the adhesive that is directly underneath it. So at this point, we're going to heat it up using just a cheap hair dryer, and then we're going to use sprudgers and a suction cup to try and lift it up. Now there is a concern that you might rip the polarizer panel off of the top of it, and if you do that, you're basically stuck. You can either keep going or you are going to have to do it the correct way. So we're going to go from there. Let's heat it up. All right, did you see that? That came up. So let's start working on this edge. Okay. Now with those 2 edges up, this should be really just a matter of getting this pried up. You gotta be careful because you will absolutely, this isn't like a miniature TV. You will absolutely crack the glass. Like the glass is damaged here, but this is the broken unit, so we're not really worried about that. So now, get in here, and we're gonna lift it up, and it comes free. Now be careful, do not damage this Fresnel lens underneath here, it'll screw up machine. But here you go, that is the broken printer. Now, a careful note, based on experience. When you go to plug in the new unit, you'll notice that the LCD side of this is bigger than the goes in the main board. We made the mistake of accidentally plugging this side in, and since this side is smaller, it absolutely fits. But make sure that the big side goes into the main board, and this bronze part will be facing you, and that part will be touching the contacts. All right, so we just took a process that took us an hour of assembly to just get to the point where we can remove the Fresnel lens and push up on the LCD to remove it, and we've got it done in just a couple minutes. The time on the clock on this cut is 7 minutes, 8 minutes. So total, we've spent about 18 minutes on this. On here, there's a whole bunch of, careful not to touch the Fresnel lens. But there is adhesive that you need to pull up, okay? Because we're going to replace this adhesive with new adhesive. And it's going to come out in pieces, and it's going to be a huge mess. We're going to cut for now, and then come back when we've removed everything. I think we're actually going to keep recording this because I think it's valuable, but I need a chair. Now, it should have been noted from the beginning, but we're going to note it now. This could possibly void your warranty with your 3D printer. So I don't know if for you, this process will be valuable. But for me, after frankly going through the unreasonably long steps, we've decided that it's valuable to us. Now, the warranty replacement took a little while to get to us from Elegoo. So we, at the same time, went and purchased one from ChichuBox. This screen is the same screen that's in the Saturn 3. See, just gently teasing it up. Tease, 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 tease. Yep. And the G2 box one got here pretty quick, less than a week. And then a couple weeks later, a little while later, the one from Elegoo showed up. So the one that we used originally came with generic adhesive strips, generic lengths of adhesive strips. And the one that we're putting in today is specifically for the Elegoo Saturn 3 and the Saturn 4. So I'm expecting the kit that we get from Elegoo to be more localized to this machine as far as adhesives. Man, this is coming off so much easier than previous times that we've done this on the Saturn 2. I think we went through, of the 3 machines that we used with the Saturn 2, we probably did 5 screen changes in their lifespan. And maybe it's because this is softened by the heat that we use to get it. In fact, that's probably what's going on. But this, peeling this off is going quite smoothly. The screen replacement kit we will have linked in our description. Yeah, it's like $10 or $15. And the whole reason that we bought the phone screen repair toolkit was because we didn't have a suction cup or any spreaders or any like specialized tools. We attempted on the first printer to remove it with automotive trim removal picks, and that went about as well as you can expect. I think the big difference is the tools that we used on the screen here are all softer than the glass, where these were just, this is plastic, these are metal, but they were pushing underneath the screen, or putting pressure underneath the screen rather than on the side of it, which is where we left with the picks. All right, so that is the adhesive removed from here. I'm gonna grab a microfiber cloth and clean up the edges here, and we'll go from there. You don't want to use paper towel on this because any imperfections on this screen will present as printing errors on your prints in the future. Actually, this little kit came with a little microfiber cloth. Go in here and get that little piece out. That little piece out, yeah. And then there's 2 down here. This is the danger. This is why this may not be something that you want to pursue yourself. It's because if you mar this, your printer's not doing great. Now, this is the kit from Elegoo. This is the, so in the envelope, it's gonna give you a set of top adhesives, screen adhesives. You notice it's got 2 plus 1 extra for the sides, and it's got 4 for the top and bottom. We'll go ahead and put these on now. All right, that's all 4 sides down. Now let's make sure that it's not impeding the screen in any place, like over here. All right, so now we're gonna peel the adhesive up. There's 1, there's 2. This one is all kinds of mess, so we're gonna try and spread it down when we get the actual backing off. Okay. Go in here and go squish, 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 squish. And then the last one, there we go. Okay, so now, this is your LCD screen. This is the front, this is the back. We're gonna remove this and then apply it, but before we do that, we are going to save ourselves some grief and plug in the ribbon cable. Now remember, this one has notches in it. It's the bigger side for the LCD screen. I'm gonna go ahead and insert it. Okay. Slide it in. What I'm trying to do is make sure that it's easy to plug in when we go in and plug it into the main board. So we're going to kind of guide it to where it needs to be by the main board. There we go. And then get it in, get it in, get it in. Slide it in. Now, don't forget to remove LCD cover. Okay, don't touch the screen. Set it in. Set it down. That, in theory, just saved us a hell of a lot of time. Now, from this point, don't forget to take off this part of the LCD before you apply this tape. I am talking to you like this out of experience. Let me go grab some gloves. LCD screen exposed. All right, so this tape, I'll tell you from previous experience, this tape is a lot more robust than it has been in the past. I really like this. One of the problems of being in a hot and humid area where you have to deal with this tape a lot is when this tape gets humid, it kind of falls apart. So there are guides on the actual build plate itself where you want to apply this tape. This tape here is to protect the edge because these are raw edges on LCD screens. It's also there to protect against like spills. So much more successful. Okay, so there's one side done. There's the other side done. So we have two different sides on here. I'm going to use the thinner long side on the bottom and then the thicker. On here, we saw that there was a piece of tape over this hole and then a piece of tape over the whole side. They don't, look at the kit real quick. Yeah, they don't provide that additional piece of tape. Did we retain it? Oh, we did retain it. This should have some adhesive left in it. So we're going to use this old one. Again, this is a different, this looks different from the first one that we did, which is interesting because that was the last one we received. So you would think that it would be the one that got the newest process, but who knows? Okay, and then we're going to take a fat ribbon on here, line it up here, and there you go. Okay, so now at this point we're gonna plug in the screen and then we're gonna plug in power and we're gonna test it to see if it'll give us the test pattern. Alrighty, there's the unit. Got that little LCD ribbon right here. I don't know if you can see this. LCD ribbon goes in, sits firmly, and then there we go. Okay. Full disclosure, what was not shown was us retrieving the Allen key that we dropped in there. Okay, so it's plugged in. We're gonna power on. A couple seconds should go by and it should say Elegoo on it. There it goes. It's gonna go through its self-test and then it'll let us into the machine screen. All right, now the moment of truth. Tools, screen exposure, Elegoo. Hey, look at that! It worked and it took so much less time! Okay, so we're gonna put the machine back together again and leave our final thoughts and then we will be done with this screen replacement change. So we're gonna do this in a specific order where these two are here to hold this. Then we're gonna turn it around. This one holds it onto the back. Look at that. What's that? I thought that was the right size. Oh, I know. That's not the right size. It's the one underneath. This one. Try to lift it. Okay. There's that. Now lift it and turn it inside. Got that piece of glove. We have already gone in and threaded this into the bottom. We haven't plugged it in yet though, but that's why it's already there. And you didn't see that on camera. It's the Wi-Fi camera. Well, so the premise of the video was, can you, by using alternate steps, can you drastically speed up the change on the LCD of a Saturn 4 Ultra? And the answer to that is absolutely. I think this video is intended for people who are advanced 3D printers, who have done screen changes on 3D printers, on resin printers before, who feel like they're comfortable with how resin printers work. These instructions are not warranted. These are an alternative to the official instructions. If you are afraid of breaking your machine, I would not do this. But if you are comfortable with the resin printing experience and you think that you can safely do this the way that I've done it, I would do this every time. I'm not 100% sure why we had 2 screens burn out so quickly on the 2 printers. These machines are made in China. They are subject to whatever QC procedures the maker of the screen is, because it's certainly not Elegoo. You know, it's Elegoo branded, but Elegoo doesn't have an LCD screen manufacturing company, I don't think. So they're buying these screens from someone else. You know, the QC is left to whatever company is actually producing those screens. So hopefully on Kuat, we won't see a screen replacement. By the way, we have, because you can name these printers in the software, same thing with our Bamboo Labs printers, we have named them after shipyards. So the Bamboo printers are all shipyards from the Honorverse. So you've got Wayland and Hephaestus and Vulcan, which is the 3 shipyards for the Royal Manticoran Navy. And then the 3 resin printers are all named after shipyards from Star Wars. So this is Fondor. Our first machine that we received is Kuat. Kuat's been a tank compared to this one. And then Bill Bringy is the one that we had the first screen change on. But that, folks, is the whole job done. I want to thank you very much for watching. Hopefully this video helps you. Again, nothing in here is warranted, so do this at your own risk. But I think it really is the good way to do it once you are familiar with your 3D printer. Thank you very much for watching Pulse Fired Gaming. I hope this was instructional, and I'll see you next time.